So I guess this is first time we're recording from Japan.
Mhm.
So how long we have been already here? Because we had a break in recording. What is it, a month?
A month? Yeah, a month. Yeah.
Like
Some,
this?
yeah.
Okay, so for everybody who is watching us, we've been for the last 6 months in Vancouver and in
Mhm.
Canada. And we are switching. We've been a month in Japan, and we're
Yeah.
gonna be here for another half a year or longer. So
Mm.
anyone and everybody who is in Japan and struggles with English language or planning to prepare English and going abroad to Canada,
Mhm.
Australia, any other English spoken countries, guys, we are in the same time zone right
Yeah.
now. So
Mhm.
if you have any questions about English progress, input, output, or working holiday,
Mhm.
immigration, working outside of Japan, culture difference, anything
Mhm.
related with going abroad to English spoken countries and English for that matter,
Mhm.
don't hesitate. Like, fire away. We're happy to help.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
With that being said, I have a couple of things.
Mhm.
I'm just opening my phone because I've been online with,
Mhm.
and I just want to bring a couple of examples. I was talking yesterday to this, I have her online. Hold on a second. There was this late, very interesting case. I have several cases I want to talk about today. One of
Okay.
them is this lady she's from Osaka. Her name is Kanae, but she's
Mm.
currently in Thailand.
Okay.
Oh my God, very classic example of somebody who is doing, how would you say in Japanese? Anju mosaku? Like
Mhm.
kind
Mm.
of like a blind person trying to figure
Yeah.
out something but doesn't know how to do things. Okay,
Mhm.
so we have to talk about Miss Kanae. 38-year-old in
Mhm.
Thailand, in Bangkok, originally from Osaka. She's been trying to study English language in cram school, like Juku Eikaiwa, but in Bangkok.
Mm.
And she's been doing this for 2 or 3 months. And yesterday we talked online for the first time.
Yeah.
It was
Mhm.
all Japanese. I spent an hour
Mm.
and a half with her in Japanese, zero English.
But she's in a school, right?
She was in a school for three
Okay.
months.
Mhm.
Nothing, nothing. The reason why I'm talking about her, it's very simple and very powerful advice. Because there's a
Mhm.
lot of people like Miss Kanai. One simple advice.
Mm.
If you want to study English,
Okay.
before you study English, you
Mm.
have to you have to know what is your goal for your English. And before I even go
Mhm.
deeper, most of the Japanese say スムーズになりたい、ペラペラになりたい、
Mm.
たくさん外人の友達話したい。
Mm.
One of my favorite. I wanna talk various topics.
Yeah.
これは重く的ではないです。That's
Mhm.
that's not your goal. That even if you think like this, even if you say like this,
Mhm.
that's not your goal. This is Shinwa, this is Gokai, this is
Mm.
stereotype and misconception and 英語で言ったら you're shooting your own foot. 日本語で言ったら自分の
Mhm.
首絞める. So
Mhm.
what I mean by that, here's an example of Miss Kanai, and that's why we're talking about this. Miss Kanai is in Thailand, but
Mm.
she's studying English language in Thailand as if she was in Japan. So check this out.
Means?
I'll
Mm.
tell you what it means. Check this out. Her goal is
Mm.
speaking English in Thailand, in Bangkok, because most of the Thai people can
Mhm.
communicate in English better than her.
Mm.
Because Bangkok is a
Okay.
massive city,
Sure.
lots of tourists, Thai
Mm.
culture, Thai cuisine is very famous. So she wants to make friends and she
Mhm.
wants to use English language to be
Mm.
social in Thailand. The
Mm.
problem is she goes to English language school like Juku or Eikaiwa in
Mhm.
Bangkok, and she's doing the same behavior, the same way of study as if she was in Japanese Eikaiwa Enjuku, which means Japanese Eikaiwa Enjuku, they study listening, memorize vocabulary, and memorize grammar, and that's it. And the problem here is, like I said before, you need to know what is your English goal, your effective goal, your everyday goal in English. 効果的解決、効果的英語の目的、目標、ものすごい大事点です。これは英語を勉強する前にはっきりしっかり決めなければならないということです。So what I mean by that is this. Miss Kanae, her body is already outside of Japan. But her mind is still back in Osaka. Because memorize vocabulary, memorize grammar, and listening is Japanese style study when your goal is Aiken or TOEIC. So when you study for Aiken, when you study for TOEIC, you need to memorize vocabulary, you need to memorize grammar, and you do a lot of listening because your goal is test.
Yes.
And in the test, you're not going to be speaking to anybody. That's fine. But Miss Kanae is not studying for the test. She's not in Japan. She's in Taiwan. Right? So she wants to, like you said, she wants to speak to people around her in Bangkok. And so her problem is she's studying English the same way how people study English in Japan for test, but her goal is completely opposite. 180度逆です。And so this is an example about Miss Kanae from yesterday when I was just talking to her online. But many Japanese don't realize that. Many people here in Japan, in this country, have no clue that if you study English language, or any other language for that matter, you need to focus on first, what do I want to achieve in this language? What is my practical, my effective goal? Why am I studying this language? Okay, I'm gonna do tests, Aiken, TOEIC, IELTS, Cambridge, TOEFL, whatever. Sure, lots of input. Sure, vocabulary memorizing, grammar memorizing, listening. Okay, fine. I don't like those methods, but if that's what you want to do and your goal is test, go for it. But if your goal is you're already abroad and you're surrounded by people who speak English and you do only input and you do only Aiken TOEIC style study English, you're not going to improve.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not going to change your situation. So that's the first case. That's Miss Kanae, and that's the conversation yesterday. I have very quickly here another person that I just talk. It's a lady from different platform. Okay, so there's a 24-year-old Miss Mao, and she's 24-year-old. I think she's from Tokyo.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm just reading her message. Let's talk with me.
Let's talk with me, but she already used let's, right?
Yeah. So I'm not picking on her English. I'm just giving example that this is just Miss Mao. She sent me text message on LangMate today. She wants to do English and French. So here's the point. A lot of Japanese actually say, let's talk with me. Let's talk to me. Guys, you really need to stop doing this because you show you don't understand how to use English grammar. And like you said, very right. Let's in English language, it's a suggestion.
Mm.
And suggestion in English language works completely different than in Japanese language. So there's 8 suggestions. Let's, what about, how about, what if, why not, why don't we, or why don't you? I suppose, I suggest that we should. Boom, 8 suggestions. These 8 suggestions usually in the end are always finished with shall we? Let's talk about Japan, shall we? How about talking about Japan, shall we? Why not talking about Japan, shall we? I suppose we can talk about Japan, shall we? I think we should talk about Japan, shall we? What if we talk about Japan, shall we? Why not talking about Japan, shall we? And let's already, all those 8 suggestions already include the person who is speaking.
Yes.
So you said very correctly, she already said let's. So if she puts in the end me, it has 2 messages. Message number 1, she doesn't understand how to use English suggestion and she doesn't understand English grammar. Number 2, because she's doing hyper correction. So me is already included in a suggestion. She repeats me in the end. For English native speaker, it sounds like 俺様、ちょっと自己中感じする。And number 3, extra bonus, it basically gives away, oh yeah, you're studying English. Oh yeah, you're not really understanding what you're saying. So no, don't do that. Let's talk about something. Let's talk tomorrow. Let's talk about Japan. Let's talk about Canada. Let's talk whatever you wish to talk about. I'll be happy to talk with you. But I will never say, let's talk with me. No, that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. I'm sorry?
No, did you say anything?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just said that you were saying something. Okay. Let me check another thing here. So I have one more person that I really want to bring up this example because it's really, really important. Let me just find this person here.
Okay.
Okay, this is classic. Hi, Matt. Nice to meet you on the text message.
Yeah, a lot of Japanese are doing this. Yeah.
So that's a big one. Remember when I introduced you to the guy I do French with, Kevin from Paris?
Kevin, yeah, yes, I remember.
Do you remember what he said when he met you for the first time? He didn't say nice to meet you.
I'm glad to see you, something like that.
He was very elegant, and he said, Ayumi, I'm delighted to meet you.
Oh yes, he said that, yeah.
So here is my advice, suggestion, and really want to debunk this misconception. Nice to meet you. It's a massive problem for Japanese who are trying to be polite on the social media platforms when they are texting. It's a tip of the iceberg, but let's focus maybe on 3 or 4 things.
Okay.
First of all, nice to meet you and よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いいたします。よろしくお願い申し訳。Help me with this one. よろしくお願い申し上げます。
申し上げます。Yes, that's correct.
Right. Right. And the English nice to meet you, that's not 2 the same animals. You cannot translate them directly. They don't, they are culture different behavior, phrases, and therefore you cannot just throw all the time nice to meet you and same like yoroshiku onegai shimasu. It's not the same meaning.
Yeah.
Well, let's break it down, okay? First of all, when you say nice to meet you, for English native speaker, it sounds weird when they don't see your face and they see the text message, and it's I don't care how often people will use that on text message, because the technology blew up these days and everybody is texting, you know, Skyping, using the line or other text messages, voice messages, and you don't see the face. But the words have a meaning, and so we don't say in English nice to meet you when I don't meet you, when I don't see your face.
Yes.
You met Kevin on Skype, right? We were here in Japan and he was in Paris, in France, but through Skype video call, you still saw Kevin's face and he saw you. And so now when you see each other faces, you can say, oh, nice to meet you. And he said, Ayumi, I'm delighted to see you, right? And so the first thing is, you don't see people's faces. Don't say nice to meet you because you don't meet them.
Yeah.
And it kind of sounds kind of creepy, kind of like 日本語で言ったらちょっと気まずい感じする。なんかススス忍者、スパイの感じする。お前は私の顔見てるけど、俺はあなたのカメラはどここんな感じする、英語で。Right? So that's number one thing. Number two. Look, even in Japanese, we just listed out. よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いいたします。よろしくお願い申し上げます。Three versions. Nice to see you. Nice to finally meet you. Nice to talk to you. I am glad I met you. Like Kevin said, I'm delighted to meet you. I'm delighted to finally meet you. Very formal, but very elegant. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. And there is several other forms.
It's a variety of the words.
Same like in Japanese language, exactly. You have a variety. When you are saying the same things over and over and over, even if the person is changing, you're meeting different people. So that's number 3 point. When you are meeting different people, but you keep saying the same thing, nobody is stupid. They know you just repeat, memorize thing, and your facial expression, your tone of your voice is giving away that, 録音された。なんか壊れたのレコードのような感じするから、はい。俺の前に何百人ぐらい同じ自己紹介やってしまったかな。Right? Don't do that. Don't do that, because nobody is stupid. People will know. I am Tanaka. I am Japanese. I am from Japan. Do you know Japan? Nice to meet you. Nobody is buying this. Nobody is buying this. That's not even introduction in English. This is just 壊れてるレコード録音されて、なんか暗記されて、そのままでなんか受け身まま申し込みのようなやってる。
確かに。
お知らせあげます。No, nobody acts like this. That's not acting. Okay, so let me sum it up. 自己紹介よろしくお願いします。In Japanese, it's not the same like nice to meet you in English. You need to see the person to say nice to meet you. Don't say it when you text somebody. You don't need to say nice to meet you. It's just not correct. It's not what we do. Number 2, stop saying only nice to meet you, because it's it's boring and it's not genuine, and you need to show variety too, so people know you act like a human being, not just memorize. And then the third one, that it's also very important, it's the best if you not only make the variety and don't just copy the chokuyaku, yakudoku, or direct translation from Japanese, but you sound much better when you actually talk about yourself a little bit first. And then you say, in the end, nice to meet you. So what I mean by it's very specific. What I mean by that is this. Don't talk about your age. Don't talk about your work. We don't care about your company. We are not Kobumiyaku Bunka. We are not Yokonarabi Bunka. You're using English language for English speakers. You want to go abroad to open your horizon for the world and how people live their lives. So when you go abroad, don't close your mind repeating Japanese culture outside of Japan. If you're using already English, forget about your age, especially if you're a woman. Nobody is doing danson johin bunka in English speaking culture. People are more ladies first culture. We don't really want to know about your age. Oh, I know, I had another girl who just sent me a message and she wrote me, hi, I don't want to waste my time to look for her, but there was one other girl on my phone and she's like, hi, I'm Yoko, I'm 30 years old, nice to meet you. And I wrote back to her. I wrote back to her, well, yeah, thanks for your information. So what can I do for you? And, oh, by the way, we don't say that, we don't ask women about their age in English. So you don't need to do that in English. I know what you mean. I know where you're coming from with this. We don't do that in English. We never ask women about their age. And I knew that she wanted to kind of save her face. I didn't attack her. I just explained to her, we don't do that. So don't do it in English. And she said like, oh, I just wrote my age without the reason.
Without reason. But that's why you shouldn't say that, right? Because without reason.
If there is no reason, you wouldn't do that. And if there was what's the reason of pointing it out, especially when you are meeting someone for the first time? That's clearly Asian culture, clearly Japanese chiko shokai. We don't do that. We don't do that. That's the difference between ladies first and danson johin. So if the woman in English language, in her, there's another person beeping on my phone. Anyway, if the woman speaks English and in the first introduction sentence he's saying her age, that's a giveaway. She doesn't understand ladies first culture. So chances are she's Korean or Japanese, one of the danson johin bunka. And no, forget about your age, forget about your job position, or your social ladder position. We are not senpai kohai bunka. We don't do strict jogen kankei shakai teki seido. We don't do that. All you have to do is talk about what dazzles you in your life. Talk about what is your passion. Talk about what drives you in your life. Okay? By the way, if you are more than 12, 13 years old, don't say my hobby is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's classic thing people in Japan also do. Don't say my hobby is. Just say what I do in my life is, what I'm into is, what I usually do is, when I have a free time, what I like to do is. that means your hobby, but
Yeah.
without using the word hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Adults, of course, you know, people in 20s, 30s, 40s, 60s, and 80 and 100 years old people, if they're lucky to live so long. Here in Okinawa, there's plenty of them. But a lot of people in different stages of their life, they have their hobbies. I have lots of hobbies, but I will never use the word hobby in my introduction because I'm not 12, 13-year-old. So I will say what I like to do is what dazzles me in my life is when I have a time, you can find me on the beach here in Okinawa doing scuba diving if the waves, if there's no waves and if there is a high tide, right? And then in the end, I say, hi, my name is Matt. Nice talking to you. You see, I didn't say nice to meet you. I said, nice talking to you, very naturally, because we've been already talking for a while here.
Yeah.
And so I'm already saying, nice talking to you. Not nice to have a chat here with you. It was nice to, it was nice to meet you. It was nice to have a chat with you.
Yeah.
It's not always nice to meet you.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah. So these are just a couple of examples of people we just bumped into recently here in Japan, and yeah, I just got a beep for this lady who doesn't speak any English, but she's hoping, she's 38-year-old, her name is Risa, and she's hoping to live abroad, but zero English. So I'm gonna just go back to her and see what's going on with her, and maybe we'll do the update for some other time later. But yeah, anyways, so we are in Japan right now. So guys, if you have any troubles with English vocabulary, English grammar, English output, English input, or like Miss Kanae, you are confused about your personal situation, how you should direct your education, how you should study English so you improve fast and a lot in a short time, give us a ring, send us a message. We're in the same time zone here. We'll be here for at least 6 months before we'll head back to Canada. And yeah, we'll see you online. That's about it.
So I'll see you soon, I think.
Yeah, see you around. Alrighty, guys. Take care. Have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.